Pops and the Rican.
Pops and the Rican.
Look at this. Pops and the Rican. The Pops and the Rican. What's the Pops and the Rican?
Look at the top of his head. Look at this one.
Pops and the Rican.
Pops and Pops.
Just gonna start it off, so hit that. Just want to make sure we're good. We should be good.
Oh, that's good. That's great. What kind of camera is that?
That is a Panasonic HD. It's old school.
What year?
Oh man, dude.
1742.
Christopher Columbus had that.
It does what it needs to do, so it gives us exactly what we need.
Yeah, man. It's nice. It's older, but it's nice.
Yeah, it's nice.
All right.
So, hey everybody, it's the Pops and the Rican show.
Yes.
And for those of you who have forgotten, I'm Pops.
And I'm the Rican.
Puerto Rican?
Yes, sir.
I love that word. San Juan?
San Juan? No, actually, Naranjito.
Oh, you kidding me? You know Edgar Rivera?
I know a lot of Riveras.
Oh, yeah, that is true. That's true. That's true. It's like, you know Darnell Washington? Yeah, I know Darnell. Yeah, I know.
It's hilarious, man. It's all good, man.
So this is the Pops and the Rican family reunion.
Right.
All the Puerto Ricans have come
That's my
to the show.
Dominican brother right here,
So this is the Rican's Puerto Rican cousin, BT.
BT's in the house.
Yeah.
So for those of you who have not seen BT or heard of him because you have no life.
Right, you need to go ahead.
This guy, he's a great comic that has been all over the scene, and he's in Indianapolis for the weekend.
Yeah.
And so we said, hey, since you're in town, can we sit down and have a conversation?
Yep.
He said no, but then we reminded him that we know his parole officer.
No, we're doing a show today at Joker's Comedy Club, downtown Indianapolis. It's a wonderful Joker's Comedy Club. It's a great place. And I first saw you on Drive Bar Comedy.
Really? Okay, yeah, that was good. I did that. Matter of fact, I probably did that last year around this time. Because I remember I just gotten this hip replaced in February, and I still had a cane. Because I walked up with a cane, and I kind of put it to the side and did a whole set basically from sitting on that stool.
Right.
So it was hard not to be, really mobile. But yeah, that's what happened. I remember that, man. That was a good time. It was a good time. The Mormons are very nice people, thank you.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, because we've got a couple of dry bar. I mean, they're not dry bar comics, but they've been on dry bar.
Yeah.
Has their exposure, has that done a lot for you, or are you still kind of waiting to see how much it's going to do for you?
In the business, I can't really say it has in the business, but you never know, man. This thing is, comedy and the way the business is now, it's like it's always, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. If you stay in it long enough, I'm from believe you stay in it long enough and you still dedicate yourself to it, which is very, very difficult to do at this stage, but you stay focused, man, like sometimes they come back to you.
Yeah.
And like, I honestly, I don't remember how I got that, I really don't. I knew a guy who set me up with that, but I don't know how I met him. I think I met him at a comic festival. Anyway, he gave me the email, so we did it, and it's a good piece of tape. So, and they keep putting it out, and so, but I get people hit me up on my Facebook fan page and say, hey, what can I see, what can I see? So maybe in that aspect it has. As far as the business-wise, man, you don't know. Like sometimes you get calls from people,
That's true.
have to get this number,
It's more like timing, right? It's more like, it's like specific, it's almost like timing where you have people who are looking for specific comedians that are out there doing their thing, and then all of a sudden it's like you get a surge of clubs calling you up or contacting you, or do you deal with management or do you deal with like clubs? How do you work?
I got no management at all, so it's just me.
Okay,
I just me grinding, which is good and bad in a way.
Okay.
But I just like to think, this tape, if somebody said tape and I sent it to them, it's a great piece of tape. Like I said, it's clean.
Right.
So you can't really beat that.
Okay, now we're going to step into something that has always been our conversation almost every single show that we've done so far, and that is the difference between doing clean and blue.
You know what, people, I mean, I'm a firm believer, what you do is you write, just write free, write as free as you can, and then, if it's a nightclub, I don't see any reason why you should censor yourself in a nightclub, if that's who you are. Like sometimes I cringe when it's just, it stands out, you're like, you didn't really put a fuck there, or this there, you know, but if that's who you are, I have no problem with that. I mean, there's people who are dirty and funny, there's people who are clean and funny. Nate Bargassi's hilarious, he's clean. You know, Pete Holmes. And then you get people who might be, you know, who are dirty, but they're hilarious. So there is, to me, if you stay true to who you are, and you write it, and it's funny, and the words just happen to be what they are, then there's no problem with it. But as long as it's not like it's forced.
Okay.
You know, if you don't, you just put it in.
It's gotta seem natural.
It's gotta seem natural. Don't make it like, fuck you, all that was so abrasive.
Yeah.
Like if it's just, it flows with you, exactly who you are, then I got no problem. Like Richard Pryor, it always just flowed.
Right.
I mean, they say it was dirty, but it was a flow, like, and it's just like, and that motherfucker was a smooth motherfucker. It's not like he's somebody who doesn't really say it, and it comes out just, and they're really trying to they're trying too hard to be hard, and it's like,
The other part that frustrates me is when the comic is throwing out their material, and they're realizing, okay, this isn't quite as fun as I thought it was, so now I'm going to try and save it, and they're using a fuck or a dick or a pussy, whatever it might be. They're using that to hopefully save the joke for them, and that's just as abrasive to me as somebody trying to force being something they're not, you know. So it's that lazy aspect of, I really didn't put the time and energy into writing good, clever material, so I'm just going to throw this out there and hope it saves me, you know.
That is great, and I'm glad you said it, because like I work crucials also, and so the thing about it is, and it's so true, because sometimes you do a joke and you think it's funny, and I still do it to this day. It's funny you say that, but and I realize it's like you said, and it's not so much late. It's like you really think that joke at that part is funny, and if it doesn't, so you'll go, okay, and you throw this in. But for me, it's not like a forceful. It's just natural reaction. So it's like, okay, it didn't work, and you kind of, and like I said, you have it in there, and it's not on purpose, but that's just who we are. So when I do something about a family show, and so I'll put a new joke in for a family show, and that way I can't curse. So if it doesn't work, then I find a way that I can't curse to make it work. If it works, and so that way, okay, it didn't work this time, I'll try it this way, and that way it gets you, like you said, better writing. Now, but so I don't begrudge the comics so much, because that's nervous energy. Because sometimes you think a joke's gonna work, and then you go, shit, and you go, okay, and then so through the Rolodex in your mind, you search it and you try to make it work. Then so, but it's not so much they're being lazy, and it's just that natural reaction. You know, it's like when it hits me, I'm gonna hit you back. Go, oh shit, sorry, I didn't go. Why did you hit me? I'm just sorry, man. I don't know what. So
is it because also when that happens, is it because you're not reading the room right?
Oh, why? Just
reading the room is important, isn't it?
People say that. I mean, but
is that even possible?
I'm glad you said it, because people say you gotta read the room, but how do you know? Because you can't go. I can't just assume I'm in front of a white boy. Okay, they're stupid. They don't know.
Right.
Black experience. And there might be a person there who adopted black kids or something like that, who was raised in a hood, and they were the one getting beat up by black. So you can't just go out and they're not
gonna know. Right.
You can't do that. So personally, I just think you gotta go out and you throw it out there and go, hey man, this is it. Let's see what works. I mean, unless it's like hey man, there's a whole group of this is a Christmas party. They don't want any. Okay, I got you in there. But if you're coming to my domain, you can't just look at it and go, these people aren't gonna get this. You can't just assume, man.
It's good. But I think the key there is you're putting it out, and then you're gonna take and make adjustments by what reaction you get, and that's part of reading a crowd. Is okay, do I get a nice warm reaction from this joke? Right. Then I can go down that avenue. But if you're getting a bunch of the snowflake reactions of, oh, I can't believe he said that, and they just want to stay over there and be offended because it's the national pastime now. Then you make adjustments so that you have the crowd that's going to go on the journey with you. You don't want to just go, well, hey, if you don't like this, you might as well go home because that you're going to do it after the show anyway. So,
yeah.
But I think there is part of that. Just you've got to be true to who you are.
True to who you are.
And if you can be true to who you are, and you kind of you step up, you deliver a punchline, you see how the audience reacts, and you go, okay, this is what I got to do tonight. Okay, then I'm gonna step over here, and I'm gonna go on, I'm gonna continue being me. I'm just gonna be me over here because you guys told me this is where you want me.
Okay, well, see, that kind of helps comedians out there because if you don't do well at one room, that doesn't necessarily mean you're not funny.
Yeah, I believe
Right?
that. Yeah, I believe that.
It's like, because people will walk away. Like, I know
Yeah.
a few that we've been in the game for a minute, and they'll go to a room and they bomb, and they're like, oh, I suck. I'm not gonna do this again. I'm never gonna go up on the stage again. But like, they didn't get your. It's not that you're not funny. It's just it didn't work with these people.
Right. Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I'm sure there's. I mean, there should be like a base to where you receive, but as far as like people, I mean, they're just like, oh God, I suck ass in this room. Well, then maybe some of it is you, or maybe they just don't get this. Like a perfect example is comedy works in Denver. Okay, when they have urban acts in there, and if I happen to be in town, I watch urban. It's so. Urban means,
Yeah, I got
trouble.
it.
So like, so they have urban acts in there. It's downtown Denver, and there's not too many black people in downtown Denver. Like I watched Earthquake there, and it's, I mean, he felt that, and I felt like I could see him pulling back a little bit because I could see the wheels going. They're not gonna get this. And Earthquake is great, so I saw him just kind of like halfway. And then some of the comics said, for Denver, I'm gonna go, and I'm like, they're not gonna get him. And it's like, it was a waste of his talent. The Earthquake in his room, and his kind of people, is a fucking monster. He's a fucking beast. But in that aspect, that's another good, because, I mean, like you said, the whole week, I was like, oh, it's gonna be brutal for him. Yeah. But to make him a back out, no, it's just, that's his fucking people. You know what I mean? You put a great comic like Brian Rican, you put him in a black audience. I mean, no offense to Brian, but I don't know how he would work.
Okay.
I mean, but it depends on what black audience it is. A hardcore urban audience, or is it like,
it's not like comedy jam, Def Comedy Jam.
Yeah, I mean, are they gonna get it more? Exactly. So it's so.
Have you gotten to a place where when you've gotten to a place where anywhere you go, you're gonna kill?
No. Because man, like my act is constantly changing. At least I try to get constantly changing.
Yeah. And
I gotta get off to a good start. If I get off to a good start, I'm good. But sometimes I don't. And then it's like, and if I don't, so it's like, okay, where do I find to get this role? Sometimes not being on a roll is good because it breaks me up.
Okay.
Which is good. It breaks me to, because I tend to see to get going, and then I talk too fast, and I don't get the points I want to get out. So sometimes it's good to break a roll up, come back, and just kind of, breathe and go, okay, these are the themes I want, and let everything fall under that umbrella of the theme. Like my theme a little bit last night was, it's a better world if you don't watch the news.
Right.
It really is. That's my formula.
Yeah.
When you meet people on this level, walking the street, whatever, I mean, there's not too many bad people who you go, that guy's a fucking asshole. If I get a chance, I like, every now and then, obviously, but for the most part, it's not like when you're home watching news, like, are you fucking serious? Right. And everybody's doing the keyboard, and fucking get on my face.
They go crazy, right? They're trolling, and then it's like, what?
But when you're at this level, man, everybody's pretty, like, I was at Starbucks yesterday, trying to write, and this lady, she was with her granddaughter, and she was just chatting me up a fucking storm. And I was like, okay, whatever. And she was nice, and I was like, okay. And the night before, I was trying to get some writing done at Starbucks, and this cop came in, and he was chatting me, like, to the point, like, all right, man, I gotta go, because it was closing.
Yeah.
And it's like I said, it's true story. It's like, I watch the news, and like, oh, man, it's fucked up. Cops killing all these black people.
Yeah.
And then, I'm in Plainfield, I got pulled over twice. I literally was like this, and the cop was like, what are you doing? I go, officer, I just don't want to go, your back light is out. Just get it fixed on the podium again. I go, okay, officer. He's like, are you okay? He goes, what's wrong with you? And I go, nothing, officer. He literally was like, he got mad. He goes, what are you doing? He goes, is everything okay? And I go, yes, I just don't want you to think. He goes, just get your back down. He was pissy. And it's like, and I felt like, oh, fuck, I'm falling for this shit.
Right. Right. So getting programmed to, that's the thing. Like you're saying, you can actually go from that theme.
Yes.
And, okay, so you were talking about how you write too, because That's another thing too
Yeah.
as well. So do you go based on just specific themes? Do you write it down? Are you?
I'm glad you said
know
that.
what
I mean, I can't
That's
begin to
structure.
tell people. Structure is something I have never had. Maybe that's why I'm here in this position I am today after all these years. Maybe if I had better structure, then I'd be. You have to call my club and say, "Is BC available?" Oh, I'm like, I don't know if we can fit you in today. You know what I mean? That's right.
You don't quite fit in structure. Thanks for asking.
So, you know, it's like I go with like sometimes I'll sit there, I'll go, okay, I'm gonna work from this point and go here, or like something happened. Like my favorite thing now is the story I tell about my roommate's son. And when I came home and man, I just said, "Hey, how was your day?" He goes, "Not good." And the way that motherfucker said that, the way he said that, and on his face, I was like, "God damn, man, what the? A 4-year-old shouldn't have this look." I go, "What happened?" The way he went, "Oh man, like this motherfucker had a day. No 4-year-old should have a day like this." And I was like, "Let me hear, bro." You know. So yeah, so sometimes it takes. And the greatest thing about it is. And it's like, say something like that happened. How do I make this funny?
Yeah.
So I'll either get to a position where like maybe I'm going to ride my bike to the gym, or if I'm in the shower, it's a great place to think that out.
Right.
And you talk it out in your mind, or you talk it out. Or on the motorcycle is a great place too. Just talk the bits out. You go, okay, and then you get it, and then you write it down.
Right.
You know. So it's just.
So are you typing it? Are you writing it out?
A longhand, man. I mean, I got my. It's like it's literally long, old school notebook. Longhand, write it out. I mean, I'm old school. Like sometimes today they do it on their phones. I go, what if you lose all that shit? I mean, it's like it's technology. So what if you lose it? What if you drop your phone in the water?
Yeah.
There goes your whole fucking act. You know what I mean?
Unless you back it up in the cloud.
Unless you back up, and then it's gonna be guaranteed. So you're on stage, you're trying, you know, I got these new jokes written out. I mean. Whatever works for you, but me, I'm old school, longhand. I gotta have a notebook, and I gotta write it out, you know. And then like, cause sometimes, you know, like I'll be like, oh shit, and I get a napkin maybe before the show. And, oh, I gotta do that, yeah, you know, and maybe try to get it structured. You know,
Do you find yourself when you're doing like last night? You were working the crowd, and I will say, having worked a couple of cruises and knowing that. When you're doing cruise events or cruise gigs, you find yourself kind of getting a little bit bored. I don't know if this is true for you. I'm an old guy, so I get bored. I get bored at everything.
Yeah, right.
But so you find I'm going to keep the show fresh. I'm going to have to interact with the audience. And you were working the crowd, and it was last night was watching. It was like watching a master's class and working a crowd.
Yeah,
it was fun to watch.
You had so many different angles that were going on. It was great.
And so, what you did last night, and then you come across a guy. Oh, you were burnt.
Right.
Oh,
I mean, you took that serious moment because it got quiet.
Yeah, it got pin drop quiet, did it?
It just dropped.
I got burned. I go, okay, and I go, don't bail like you would normally do.
Right.
Don't bail, just stay in it. And the wheels are going to stay in the moment. So I go, okay, it's quiet here. I'm be cool. I'm gonna listen to what he has to say. You know, and then so yeah, man, that could get. But
and then 2 seconds later, Smokey over here.
Bro.
So
you went back to him.
when you're in that stuff, do you find yourself wanting to stop and say, somebody write this down because I want to remember this and I want to come back to this. So you hope somebody else writes it down for you?
Sometimes, or I should, like every extra comic, you should record your act every time. That's what I should have done. You know, but I think that was one of the ones in the moment where you had to be like, you know, I don't think I could recreate.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't remember hearing it.
Right. So how long did it take you to get to a point where you are comfortable riffing off your set?
Everybody's different in this game. There is no rhyme or reason to that. I mean, that's why I always hate when a comic goes, well, I've been doing this for so years. Man, don't say that shit because it's like, it makes you sound like such a curmudgeon, you know? Like, I've been doing this for 30 years and really? Well, this guy's been doing 8 years. He's doing his second special.
Yeah.
So there is no rhyme or reason to that. So that's why I like, just be quiet and, you know, put your nose down and fucking try to write something new and hopefully something good's gonna happen. Because, I mean, it's like, I know I've been doing comedy longer than Kevin Hart. Man, look where he's at. I mean, especially this guy. So I'm not gonna say anything. God bless the guy. He did what it takes, and he went down the right avenue. And God bless the dude, man. I mean, there's no bitterness because it all comes back on you. So your learning curve, you're the learning curve.
Right.
You know, everybody's
Where's your hustle?
Yeah.
Where's your ground?
Yeah, I mean, everybody's thing is that some people get it quicker than others. Like another thing in my life, he goes, I say, I'm getting life late. I mean, where like some people get it early, and God bless those people who can come out and people like motocross racers. They have to decide when they're 8 or 9. This is what I want to do for the rest of my life. Now, so their parents can put the house up, for the house up, and so they can invest in their kid who's basically supporting a fucking family at 8 or 9. You know, and then they figure, okay, I want to do this for the rest of my life, and then I want a wife, and I want kids, and they figure life out. Me, I'm slowly getting there. I'm fucking 50. I'm slowly getting there. I mean, I'm serious. I'm finally to the point where I go, you know what? Maybe getting there. Maybe, I don't know. Or maybe, you know, I should start investing. You know, maybe I do that. Or maybe I should quit going to look at titties. Maybe I should fucking get a book about what the best in the stock market. You know, where it's like I'm getting life late, like I get. That's why I say when the parents, and I mean that, I go, now I get you parents. Where I used to be like, man, fuck them kids, do your shit. Like I get it now because now with my roommate's kid, I held that kid in my arm 2 hours after he was born. And I had that feeling like, I don't have the kids, but I had that feeling, and that emotion hit me, I was like, fuck, man. And then now I know what people say when they feel that feeling. I felt that. I was like, oh, fuck. And I'm holding this kid, and he's like, you know, making this little noise. I go, I got you, buddy. Anything happens to you. So now I get that. So when something happens, and I took this bit out of the act, but it's too short. Now I get where you were protecting my kid. We went to go pick him up from daycare one day, and this one kid came up to me and goes, hey, you know, Isaac pushed Carter down. And instantly, I go, who the fuck is Isaac? I go, who's Isaac? And the kid go like it, and I went to him, and I swear this kid turned wider than he already was. And I walked through like, oh man, which is so inappropriate. I go, don't you ever push him down? Do you understand me? And he was like, man, and I couldn't stop it. But I couldn't stop it. And it was, man, I was like, and my roommate was like, oh, fuck, what are you doing? She's like, oh, and she tried to play it off. She goes, let's go, BT, let's go. And then, luckily, our kid fucking redeemed himself. He went to me, he goes, bye. Thank you, like, woo! Jail. I ain't gonna lie, man, because I was in a fucking 3-0 bed. I said, don't you ever.
Oh, that's not a good
put your hands on him again. Oh my God, dude. But I understood that. And I should have just said, our kid, like, listen, this motherfucker gonna push you again. You punch this motherfucker right in the fucking nose. I guarantee you, ain't gonna fuck with you no more. But I went to the kid and said, you know, we're just telling
you can't, right.
Yeah,
you can't really touch it.
You gotta be careful with what you're saying, because like my son, when he was in elementary school, he had a kid that was kind of always picking on, bullying, and I said, okay, here's what I want you to do. First thing, you go tell the teacher that this is happening, and if the teacher doesn't do anything about it, the next time the kid bugs you, you turn around, you look him straight in the eye, and you say, okay, you're gonna stop, or I'm gonna kick your ass. And if he doesn't stop, and the teacher doesn't do anything, then what I want you to do is I want you to, first of all, say that's it. Then I want you to punch him right below his throat. I want you to punch him as hard as you can. And when he kind of buckles up, then I want you to punch him as hard as you can in the stomach. And when he bends over, because he's going to bend over, I want you just to smack him on the back of his head as hard as you can. And walk away.
The problem with the kids is they skip those first 2 steps and they just go right into punching.
So I'm like, okay, now you know. If you have told the teacher and the teacher didn't do anything, you go ahead and handle things yourself. The next day, I come home and my wife's like, you probably need to have a talk with Jake. And I was like, what, did he do it? Did he? And she goes, no. She said, he came to me and she said, I don't want to disappoint Dad because, you know, he told me I should do this, but if I do that, I think it'll disappoint Jesus, and I don't want to disappoint Jesus either.
Oh, that's what's up.
And I'm kind of like,
it just, yeah, bro.
You listen to your dad.
Yeah, bro.
No, Daddy's here. Jesus, you will never see him.
Oh, man.
Trust in the man you see, not the man you don't see.
So I'm like, I guess maybe, you know, maybe you should do that, Dad, if you're, you know, you're afraid you have to deal with Jesus over it. So.
Big there, bro.
That's fucking funny, man.
So let me ask you this: we've talked a little bit about some of the different shows and different things you do. If you can choose your favorite gig, your favorite place to do a show, the favorite types of show, whether it's the cruises or the clubs or whatever, if you had your choice? If I could do every show like this in this environment, what would it be?
That's a great question. Man, a theater. I love theaters. Because theaters, it's that big, dramatic, and it always get the green room in the back, and they're less rowdy usually in a theater. There's no really, there's no, I mean, it's like a theater, man. So it's a different setting. Usually tickets are a little bit more, so you don't get that element there. And they're listening, and they're appreciative, and it's just, to me, and you can go big. You can act and you can be big, you can slow it down, you can tell your point of view, and you come back with a pop-out and make the fucking thing just as big as possible. And then theaters, man, theater. I mean, that's what I want to work for, that fucking theater, bro. I mean, you know, it's like if you're a boxer, that's club fighting. You know, what's nothing wrong with that, you know? It's where you get gully at, man, but man, you give me a theater, that's fucking pay-per-view right there. A theater, that's where it's like, you arrive in a limo, they open the door, hey, this is what you're doing. You go in the back and you kind of stretch out. Oh, great, thank you. Okay, I'll write my bed, watch a little TV. 30 minutes or something. Thank you so much, bro. Let me ask you get dressed. It's like that. Okay, we're ready for it. All right, and you go in and boom. And it's like, there's really not any bad theaters. I mean, because they're coming to see you. And it's like, it's a different kind of, it's a restaurant. It's like a country club groupie. You know what I mean? It's like, she drove in a Mercedes, she's gonna sleep with it. She's gonna drive off in a Mercedes. She's got trust fund. She already got money in the bank, you know. It's not like some chick you meet, like, you was funny, you wanna come out here and hang your money? No, it's like, no, that's fine. I'm gonna go home and take care of myself. So theater, man. Theater.
That's cool.
Definitely a theater, yeah.
How did you decide, or at what point did you decide, you know what, I want to do comedy?
Man, it was corny as shit, but my whole life is corny, but I've always said, like, I've always liked laugh. I remember growing up, man, my parents let me stay as late as I wanted to on Friday and Saturdays.
Yeah.
So my favorite thing was watching Johnny Carson, man. Those comedians, Johnny Carson. Like Jerry Seinfeld is my favorite. I go, man, if I get a chance, I can't wait to see this guy. And I go, I gotta get this guy's name. Every time I see him, and I remember laughing to my stomach hurt when he did that horse bit.
Yeah.
Oh, they got that big eye. They got that big eye. And he kept doing that. They wasn't really working at first. They got that big eye.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm on the couch, rolling, going, okay, I gotta get this guy's name. Okay, Jerry Seinfeld. Okay, got it. And I remember doing that, and I remember staying up late and watching. Every now and then on Midnight Special, they have a comedian. Every now on Midnight Special, they will.
Yeah.
I think I remember Richard Pryor, Steve Martin, and then they have Don Kirshner's rock concert on Saturday nights.
Wow.
Remember Don Kirshner's rock concert? I remember watching that. There's a couple other things.
What you point to me?
Because you're the only one right there in this room that can relate with that.
Hey man, Midnight Special. Midnight Special was the greatest, man.
I thought he was pointing at me like, do you even remember? You know, I know you were there, but do you remember? Thanks, I appreciate that.
Yeah, man. I remember that. So I remember just wanting to laugh and love it. Wait for the weekends to come and just I like making people laugh. And so it was one of those things where I just felt like it was like a God-given thing. Like, and I remember I was in junior college, man. I was wrestling in junior college, and I remember being in my room. To this day, every time I tell the story, I just remember being in my room in junior college, going, "What's my God-given talent?" And I go, I could always make people laugh, and I go, "That's gonna be it." And it literally was that. So I was in my room, and I don't know how I lucked out in junior college, not really having a roommate consistently, but I was by myself, and I just remember, man, going, yeah, that's really cool. And so,
and I say, the writers of Monsters Inc. Man, they were brilliant when they kind of said to the world, hey, laughter. There's so much power in what laughter does, and you know, the first time that I did a show and I hit my first punchline and I heard this crowd erupt in laughter, I was like, okay, that's the best. That is the best drug I have ever done, and I want to do it all the time.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
That's how it was. That's how it was growing up. Yeah.
It is. it's almost ridiculous speed to ride fast on a motorcycle, but it's sometimes a little safer sometimes. You know? Yeah. So yeah.
And then there's those times where you think, okay, this is gonna kill, and you don't hear it, and you're like,
but that's where like
that's as painful as taking a face dive off of your motorcycle at 140 miles an hour without a helmet.
Yeah. So when it doesn't work and it's a full crowd, or you're dying up there, you think, okay, sometimes you gotta sit in that pocket and just take it.
Yeah.
When it ain't working,
Let me ask you this: over the years, what's the best advice somebody gave to you for your comedy career?
To this day, it haunts me. My old manager said that she manages Sebastian Maniscalco. And she used to manage, I don't know if she still does, she said about the amazing Jonathan McBrown.
Yep.
You know, I mean, all this shit, you know, Levity Comedy Club? Yeah, that's her. So she told me when she was starting out, she was making her bones and she was fucking, you know, coming up. And she goes, and this is when I moved to LA. And she goes, just, I know you don't like doing comedy in LA, but just stay here. Just do comedy at night, be like, get a job at the mailroom in the daytime, and if you just stay here, don't do the road, because the road's going nowhere. Nobody gets rich off the road. Just stay here, do comedy, and eventually it's gonna pay off for you. You get a TV show. I go, nah, I know what I'm doing. And I mean, God, and that advice to this day haunts me, because I remember like people who would adhered to her advice. People like Guy Tor. I remember Guy. He basically did the same thing, and you know, he got movies, and a couple of the comics, and they stayed there. And, you know, it's like, looking back on it, and what I remember is, I was up for, this was when Mad TV was first coming out, and I was auditioning for it. I had one audition, and I thought, right? I got called back. I said, okay. So I got the second one, and the lady said, are you gonna be here this week? I said, yeah. That was a Wednesday. Now, I was broker than broke. I think me and Manny just split up. I was broker than broke, and I had to go to this road deal in Kansas City. I had just enough money to get there. I had just enough money just to get there. And I mean, I'm talking, I was like, oh, water cooler. And then they called me on Friday, and they, can you come in? And I go, I'm on the road. And they go, okay. And that was it. You know what I mean? And
you never heard from them again.
No, man, they don't went on in Hollywood. So, man, that's the one advice I always remember, man, is that, you know, the road's going nowhere. And so, you know, as the comics come up, you know, and they're all excited, and I get it. I don't want to dampen their excitement.
Right.
And I don't want to be that dude who, I'll tell you what, like, you know, but I want to go, man, just have a goal and just, you know, have a goal, know what you want to do. Because, man, it comes back, it goes quickly. Because you're having fun, you're making money, you're doing what you want to do, I'm coming down. And then, man, one day you wake up, it's like the stripper syndrome. One day you wake up, you're not getting table dances anymore. And you wonder why, because you're fucking 35, 36, you got back of your legs that, you know, when you get hit by the bag of nickels, and you wonder why nobody's fucking, you know, giving you lap dances anymore. You go, when did that happen? And you go, oh, you didn't see it coming, did you?
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's what it is, man. You gotta learn, I mean, you gotta go, and I should have listened to that advice. And like, and to this day, there's not a day goes by I don't think about that. It's always a catch-22. Not a day goes by I go, fucking, why didn't I take JD's advice? And like, I see Sebastian, I go, God, you know, this guy is selling out Madison Square Garden for 3 nights. I'm going, why the fuck did I take her advice? You know? So, yeah, man, every day. Every day, that advice right there.
So, kind of in that same thought pattern, when you hear people giving comics, or maybe they've even tried to give you the advice, what's some of the worst advice you hear people give?
Advice. What I should do as an MI or something?
What? Yeah. Whether they're saying it to you,
or just you're
at a club like this, and you talk about, you know, the old guy, I've been doing this.
Yeah.
And you hear him giving advice, and you're going, please,
That's stupid.
Yeah.
What's some of the worst advice you've heard out there?
Advice. Let me think. Hardly, I don't know, because I can't. You really think. That's one of the ones where it didn't roll off the tongue, because I can't remember any advice people are give you.
You probably hear it, just dismiss it like, okay, that's stupid, but I'm not going to pay attention to it because I don't want to roll around in my head.
Yeah, you listen and go, that was fucking this. That's just why would you even think I would do that? You know what I mean? I can't think. I can't think right now. Yeah.
Because it goes with what you were talking about earlier too, as well. Like when they say, "Okay, I need to be in the game," because there's a lot of politics when it comes to comedians.
It's like anything else in life, man.
Exactly.
Politics.
Where it's like, "Oh no, you know, you've only been doing it for like 5 weeks. You need to put in more work before you get up on stage." But yet, you know, you're doing good and you're on a roll and people are laughing. And it's like, oh, I've been in the game for about 2.5 years, 3 years now. You need to step back. And then there's other cats that are saying, no, you're not funny at all. It's like, it doesn't even matter whether you do it for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. You're getting funny and you're getting people to laugh. That's the whole point. That's the purpose, right?
Gotta be haters, man. You just gotta you just gotta do what you do.
Yeah.
And you gotta learn to listen. I mean, everybody's gonna talk to you. You gotta listen to everything, but in a way, you gotta okay, that's haterade, and I need to find out. Record your act, and then I think it'll take care of itself. The rest of all I say is perform and write as much as possible. Go up as much as possible all the time, even when you don't want to. Write all the time, and go up and perform, and then work it out. And if you're getting work and everything else, then that speaks for itself. But sometimes you gotta ask yourself, what kind of work am I getting? Am I working a really good club? I'm working some shithole that pays like $100 for 2 days, and you're what?
Right.
You know what I mean? So like, am I really that good? And then maybe compare. You can't say really compare yourself because man, there's so many acts out there now. And I'm not even hating, but you go, I don't understand.
Oh yeah.
And it's not even a hate. You just go, okay.
Right.
How they got a following, I have no idea. But hey, man, God bless the guy. So
Yeah, and I find myself with that where I'm watching somebody work and I'm going, okay, I'm missing something because I don't find it, I don't see the funny anywhere there, and the audience doesn't seem to be giving them a lot of love. But they have this huge following. Somebody
it's
is
now.
yeah.
You got Instagram. You got
YouTube videos, YouTube people.
It wasn't like that back then. Now you got ones that are on there like literally doing vines and all this other stuff where they're getting more because they're bringing butts to the seats.
So
I mean, but
yeah, man.
At the expense of talent. At the expense of
I mean,
it's tough.
It's still a business, man. It's still,
right, and it's a changing world. So how do you feel about the whole change of? Are you up on that stuff?
It is what it is, bro. Because I mean, it's like those guys do what they do.
Yeah.
Okay. If they're gonna come to Comedy Club and people are gonna come and see them, what can you say? It's like everybody's bitching about it. The comedy may bitch about it, but they're selling out people and they're making big time money. So what are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
I mean, you could do it, but it's like a lot of us don't want to do it because that's not really in our wheelhouse. Like to go out and do that kind of shit they're doing. I mean, it's not bad, but it's like I can't see myself doing it.
Right, exactly.
So if that person's thing is doing YouTube videos and they're funny and they come to a comedy club, everybody goes to see them, you can't really hate on them. I mean, you really can't. I mean, get more mad at the club than them because then some of them come in like, is it Ryan? What guy's that? Ryan something, black dude. He's a YouTube dude, but somebody told me he knows, and so he tries to get people helping with jokes, which is good. So good for him. So man, you just gotta find your lane.
Right, and that's another thing too is getting other writers too.
You get right. I mean, I have no problem with it. People talk about that with Kevin Hart. Like he has writers, that's why he can do all those specials. An hour every year and record.
Man.
I mean, either way, you still have to. It still has to kill and stuff to make it to where it's his because he did his last special. I'm watching it, and it's a polished hour. You still gotta get that right. You're getting taped. Yeah. So man,
even if somebody else is writing the material, he still has to
perform it
and make it his because the audience they got great BS meters, and if they don't think that it's your material in it, they're just gonna be like,
man.
So that takes to me, that takes a lot of work to take something somebody else wrote and gave to you to make it your own.
Yes.
So that you can give it to the audience where they're
very difficult.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, man. Very difficult. It's like teach his own. I mean, whatever works for you, man. Whatever works for some people can come out straight out comedy, like I said, like Nate Bargatze, or some people can just do the YouTube thing. I mean, sometimes it makes you scratch. I'm not gonna lie though, it does make you scratch your head because like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
I mean, the old school people who wrote and did comedy and went up there and you go, I don't get why they're not here. Like Dave Attell's a perfect example. Yeah. Even though he's got his little, the bumping mics tour with Jeff Ross and this and that, he should be bigger than what he is. I mean, he's one of the most hilarious comics
I remember
ever.
him in Insomniac.
I remember before Insomniac, every special, you gotta tell people, you watch Road Tour, so whatever he had, where he filmed like 15 minutes in different comedy clubs, and they put it all together for like an hour. And I swear to God, I watched it and I laughed every time with tears in my eyes, like I watched it the first time, right? And he's got a decent following, but he's not like some other dude. You go, really? And you're going, I don't get this. I don't get this. So what can you say, man?
So let me ask you this then. Where do you see comedy going in the next 5-10 years?
Yes.
With the changes that we've seen in our lifetime, and I'll go ahead and include me in that your young years. But you've seen changes. Some you're like, hey, this was great for comedy. It was this explosion of comedy, and then you've got the changes of socialized media and what they're doing now with the YouTube and the tweet or whatever it is, you kids, coming up with names and stuff. But where do you think comedy is going? Where do you see it happening?
Man, you know what? I've seen them try new stuff. Like, there's one club that had they had the audience with, the headphones on, and then two comics up, and you would switch over to who you wanted to hear on stage.
Interesting.
Which is weird. And it's like, do you want to hear this guy? And so they're performing, and they don't know who's listening to them because, they can go switch between two comics on stage doing the same bit. And I'm like, that's confusing. I personally think it's still going to boil down to a stage and a microphone. At its core level.
Yeah.
It's like with men and women. It's still, you can have the tender you want to, but it's still going to boil down to human interaction. So, and that's where I think comedy club is going to be. I still think it's going to be a stage and a mic. And as far as comedy clubs, that's the weird thing about it. You see TV and everything else, you think it's bigger than what it is, but sometimes you see your clubs closing. So it's like, is it really? But sometimes with the avenues that people have now, you see maybe a one nighter, you think, it's a one nighter, but it's a lot better than a week-long comedy club. So I just like to say, at the end of the day, it's still going to be comedy club with a stage and a mic. And people go see somebody make somebody laugh. How they do it is different. Look at Gallagher. He was, But in the end, I think it's still going to be basically the same. Basically,
Well, and I say it to young comics all the time. Your job as a comedian is to be funny. Be funny. Be funny. And then how you give that product or how you deliver that product to the crowds, whatever, that's up to you. Whether you're doing it at a corporate event, whether you're doing it on stage at a comedy club, whether you're doing it on stage at a big theater, or whether you're on a cruise line doing it, you got to find the place where you're going to be able to get up and deliver your product, but your product has to be funny. If you're going to be a comedian, you got to be funny. So be funny, be good, get noticed, and hopefully you get paid.
But I'll definitely get paid. But it's that funny you said, because I think Will Smith wanted to do stand-up. He was asking Dave Chappelle for advice, and he goes,
I saw that.
Yeah, he goes, if you're not funny, at least be interesting.
Right.
You know.
Did say that.
So if you're not being funny up there, just be interesting. So which is I get that. You don't have to go bam, 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 but be interesting at least. So, and that's a fine line to walk.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I don't care what you talk about, just don't preach. My thing is don't preach. Hit them with, be funny. You don't have to all the time, but don't let it just kind of land into where it's a
like a TED Talk.
Seriously, where it's like, come on, man, I don't want to hear all this bullshit. And you want to show me your soapbox to the point it's not funny anymore. And it's like, it's like watching a really funny movie in the last 30 minutes to get serious and try to make a point. You go, come on, man, I'm just laughing. That's why I would say Airplane and Caddyshack and Animal House were the funniest movies ever, because they never got on a soapbox. They stayed funny the whole way through.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think it's an important lesson for comics across the board that it's okay for you to be real and have your opinion.
Yeah.
But get up. So you got a guy who gets up and goes, you know what? I don't like Trump, and here's what I think about Trump. Okay, you've said that, and that was funny. But then if you do that for the rest of the hour,
Yeah, man.
it gets old real fast. And I'm like, okay, we heard that, but what else do you have? You know?
Exactly. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I really am. Because I just think everything. You talk about everything. It's how you say it. And the great ones do it in a way that you don't see it coming. Like watch Louis C.K. specials, and like he'll hit you with you go, whoa, what was he talking about? Like you realize what he's talking about, but he didn't say it. He says a way that you go, oh, I get it. You know what I mean? Like, and when he did it at the Comedy Store in L.A., he goes, you know what America's like? America's like that, and you go, whoa, it's, you know, the way he did that. Yeah, you don't see it coming, and it's beautiful, and that's why he makes the money he makes. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Ridiculous.
it was incredible, and so I'm with you on that, man. I'm with you on that.
And I think that's where, you know, you go from, okay, I've got a great perspective on this. I'm going to give you my viewpoint, and it's funny. Leave it there, and don't go to preaching, you know.
If nobody wants to be, if I want to get preached, I'll go to church.
Yeah.
I've always said, if I want to get preached, I'll go to church. And I don't want to go to church. You know what I mean?
Unless you know that the show's about something.
It's almost like someone's getting knocked on the door about the whole thing. Like, fuck, here we go with this bullshit. I mean, seriously. Honestly, it's like when I was preaching, I'm like, oh, here we go with this shit. You know what I mean? It's just, you come to the comedy club, and I think every person wants to laugh. Yeah. Now, if you have a point within those jokes, but it's still funny, me personally, I have no problem with it.
Right.
Yeah.
But don't sit there and get on a soapbox and be like, okay, here's my stand. You go,
Yeah. And I think it's important to have a perspective and to have your viewpoint.
Oh yeah, sure.
Because that's part of setting the funny up.
Yeah.
But then, okay, you delivered the funny, and now it's no longer funny. You're just hammering on a dead. Oh, let's hammer a dead horse into the ground.
Beating a dead horse.
Totally messed up.
Beating a dead horse. Beating a dead horse.
Yeah.
If you're beating a dead horse, you're really a sick person.
Is it riding it?
It's
beating a dead horse. Beating a dead horse.
It's bad enough you're talking about beating yourself, and now you're beating a dead horse. I mean, that's creepy. Stop it. You know, I don't know. I get off track, and my brain just kind of goes on vacation. It doesn't take me with it. So, so the next week's sermon is going to be. Okay. Well,
let me jump off comedy real quick and ask you what kind of bike you ride.
It's a Ducati Pikes Peak Multistratus. It's so there are 4 different kinds of Multistratus, and this is the one that Ducati won this one on the Pikes Peak in Colorado. It's the famous hill. They paved most of it now, and Ducati won it every year, so they got a bike that's named after the Pikes Peak.
Nice.
And it's the Multistrada, so it's the Multistrada Pikes Peak. They got the Multistrada Enduro, and the Multistrada is another version, but I got the one. It was like seeing that girl at the club and go, that's the one.
That's the one.
And then I was looking at the bikes and I go, why am I bullshitting myself? It's the one I love. So I stayed there for 3 years and got it.
That's what's up, man. Because I hear them out there, and I know they're calling you, so we don't want to keep you too long, man. They're calling you, and it's good.
I'm a little offended. He's never asked about my bike.
You're right. I think you're wrong.
Yeah,
I got a Schwinn.
look, see? We got a test you.
No.
People say why Schwinn?
I don't have a
Yeah,
Schwinn.
bike.
I do have I have a recumbent bike.
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
hey, let me tell you, my bicycle crashes in the work. This is a bicycle crash from the Colts complex last year.
I bought one, it was like a road bike, right? And that thing is like ridiculously light.
Yeah.
And I expected it, back in the day, the 10 speeds were like 10.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Kickstand or nothing.
Yeah.
This one now, I took a corner, bro, so fast, my whole side just busted up because I went really quick.
Yes.
That mug lifted.
Dude, yeah. What kind of bike? What kind of bike?
It's like a $500 one.
I got a special eye.
It's a Huffy.
I guess.
Right? No. It's it. That mug is ridiculous.
Yeah, man. It's really good.
Crazy.
Got the little streamers coming out.
Hard, man. Hard, dude. Yeah, I hit that ground. I was like, man.
Trust me, that shit hurts. Bicycle crashes,
Bro.
man.
And then I had my feet strapped in the pedals, so
I know, bro. I know. Trust me,
hard.
when that ball's coming, you can't do shit, but you can't get your feet out of the clip on. It's like, I'm going down.
Yeah.
And then you go down. It's like, I know I'm going down. And I was the first time I was in the clip on the bike, I swear to God, I was at the stoplight and I go, oh, I'm gonna fucking fall. And you know you're falling and you can't do shit about it. Yeah, man.
And kids, that's why I don't do wheelies in my wheelchair.
This guy.
Safety first, kids. Safety first.
Well, we want to thank you for
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate you, man.
Snippet of your time.
No, thank you guys.
Appreciate it, bro.
Appreciate you guys. Where can we get this?
Well, we wanted to ask you real quick, where can they find you online?
Online, everything is at funnyman6869. That's funnyman6869. Funnyman6869. Twitter, funnyman6869. Instagram, funnyman6869. My YouTube channel, funnyman6869. So hook me up at funnyman6869. That's right, bro.
That's what's up.
Yeah, man.
Tonight I'm gonna be laying in bed. Funny man, 6869.
Yeah, that will be embedded in your brain.
That's good. Get it in.
Trust me, it will be embedded in your brain.
My wife will be like, "What do you keep saying? Funny man, 6869 for?"
Type it in.
I don't know, but it's
Stay there, bro.
so.
That's good.
Anyway, if you were asking about where to find Pops and the Rican, any place you get online for any podcast, well, I should say any, because I don't know, you might
all platforms
because you're one of those young kids that knows some of the stuff I don't know. You might find one we don't know about.
Okay.
But pretty much any podcast format that you go to, or on YouTube.
Yep, YouTube Pops and the Rican.
Okay.
And also, if you go to buddiescomedyclub.com, we're on there too as well.
Gotcha, man. Thank you, guys.
So,
thank you.
and
Appreciate you.
big thanks to BT.
Yes.
And if you get a chance to see him in a show anywhere, really,
You need to.
go see him. You'll have a blast.
Thank you.
And so that's I guess that's the end of our time. And I'm still Pops.
Still Pops, and I'm still the Rican.
And this is still the Pops and the Rican show.
Yes. Fucking love it, guys. Thank you, guys.
Pops and the Rican.
Pops and the Rican.
Look at this. Pops and the Rican. The Pops and the Rican. What's the Pops and the Rican?
Look at the top of his head. Look at this.
Pops and the Rican.
Pops